My name is Velida Breakfield. I currently live in Saginaw, Texas, which is a suburb of Fort Worth, Texas. I was born in Omaha, Nebraska, and I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska. I have been with Amtrak for 33 years. It will be 33 years May 1st of this year. It'll be 33 years. I went to college at Wichita State University for like a semester. And then after that, I went to Job Corps, which was in Chadron, Nebraska. Completed that, got a couple trades, and then I went on to Cleveland, Ohio, where I was introduced to the BRAC program. And what that was kind of like some schooling in the railroad. So I did that, and the whole point of that was when the railroad started hiring, that we would be ready and able to go ahead and interview and get a job with Amtrak. And that's where my career started. That's interesting questions because I know at 13, I remember saying, I can't wait to retire. That's what I knew as a little girl. And then when I turned 18, I knew it was time to work towards that goal of retiring. I chose the railroad because the opportunity kind of like just came my way. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I don't know nothing about railroading, but I'm going to go for it. And I did. And I have no regrets at all. I absolutely love it. I chose Amtrak because at the time Amtrak was hiring. So they kind of actually chose me. But yeah, when I went to the interview, it was Amtrak. So, and when I went to the interview, I had a young lady who was ended up being my boss, Joyce Smith. That's the person who hired me. And I've known her for 33 years, and she's actually been an absolute joy and very instrumental in my life, and I appreciate her. Before Amtrak, I used to work I never had a job before Amtrak. This is my very first job right out of high school. Prior to becoming an engineer at Amtrak, I was a lead service attendant, which is kind of like a bartender on the train. So I traveled I started in New York City, and I went from Penn Station, New York to Washington, or I went to New Orleans, but my position was LSA, which was kind of like a bar car. And I absolutely loved it. I enjoyed it. I served snacks, hot dogs, candy, liquor, beer, anything of that sort for like the 3 days. Like say, for instance, I went from New York Penn Station to New Orleans. It was like 3 days. So I was that bartender for 3 days, and then 3 days coming back. Absolutely loved it. There's so many people. I met so many people. It was just a joy. And to see the countryside as we went along, it was amazing, amazing. So the process that I took to get promoted at Amtrak was each time a position would come open, they would advertise it. And because I was already in-house, they kind of promoted within. So I went from the LSA to a train attendant. One day they were just short, and I just happened to be on call that day. And they said, well, you want to try it? I said, well, of course, yes, absolutely. And that's how I established my seniority in that position. So then after that one, I went to an LSA dining car, which was kind of like I would greet the people who come into the dining car, and I would seat them. That was great. The enjoyment part it was people eating and seeing the countryside. It was absolutely fresh meals. I had a chef who could everything fresh, anywhere from steak to fish to even have a vegetarian meal. So it was absolutely great. So then after that, I went to an assistant conductor. Now we're talking about the train and engine department, and my hours were short because we're regulated by the FRA of how many hours we can work. So I went from like point A to point B. And by this time I had probably went to Chicago, but I've been to a couple spots by then. So in Chicago, I was again on call. And so I went from Chicago to like Galesburg, Illinois, like a 4 or 5 hour run, and that was it. But again, I was personal with the passengers. I was involved, and it was my responsibility to get them from my point A to my point B safely. And it was great. And then my next position was, I went from assistant conductor to a conductor, got promoted to a conductor. After about, a year, they wanted you to be a conductor. That way you got the flexibility of being both an assistant conductor and a conductor. And absolutely loved it. And then after that, I went to locomotive engineer. When that job came open, I went to my boss and said, how would you feel if I applied for that position? And he said, absolutely, Velida. So the position was in Omaha, Nebraska, and which was home for me. So I was like, perfect. And so I interviewed for the job. I got the position. Now the schooling was in Wilmington, Delaware, and nervous already. And so I went there. It was like 12 weeks of training. Let me tell you, like the very first day we were there, they said, welcome, and tomorrow there's a quiz. We were like, oh my goodness. So it was wonderful. There was like a classroom of in-house people already, meaning that everybody already worked for Amtrak. So it was an in-house class, and it went by seniority as far as the class was concerned. And the person who had the longest time with the railroad started as number one, and it went down. Of course, I was number one, which was a great thing. And so we had 12 weeks, and it was very intense. There was 4 women, about 10, 11 men, and at the end, we all passed. But the requirements were you had to maintain, I think, 85% through the whole process. So like halfway through, if you could not make 85% for the rest of the half, they kind of sent you home. And so people went back to their old jobs. It was wonderful. They put us up in a hotel. We all had our own room. We bonded. We bonded because, of course, men knew a little bit more about mechanical part. So the ladies kind of pulled on the men for that, and it was a great process. I had no regrets. It was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. No regrets. I love my job. The obstacles that I faced were, so once I got done with the schooling part, I came back to the crew base. Everybody went back to their crew bases, everybody all over the world. So I came back to Omaha, Nebraska, and my trainer, great guy now, but the very first day, I will never forget it. The very first day I climbed up on the engine, the very first thing he said to me was, people are expecting you to fail. I was like, oh, okay. And let me tell you, that propelled me to do even better, and that's what I did. I kept that in my mind, but I didn't let that hinder me. It propelled me. So I was with this gentleman for 2 years, and it was kind of touch and go at the beginning. I mean, by him saying that, and I'm thinking, your friends are my friends, so who are these friends saying that? So somebody, and I didn't inquire. I just said, okay, that's fine. I kept it. I just never forgot it, but it propelled me. It was awesome. And I was with him for 2 years, and it was great. He warmed up to me. I warmed up to him. He was my instructor. I would not replace him for nothing. In the end, we became friends. Absolutely great experience. My experience as a minority woman has been wonderful. I don't feel people has not treated me, at least to my knowledge, different because I'm a minority woman. Because I was determined. I'm not gonna let nothing stop me. I don't care what you say. It's just you're not gonna stop me. The issues that you have, they're kind of your issues. They're not mine. So my challenges were with the job, of trying to overcome the job, trying to get the job, not nothing personal. That was their issue, not mine. Okay, the tests I have to take as I rose through the ranks at Amtrak were, so as a conductor, assistant conductor, and an engineer, we go through tests every year to kind of keep it's a refresher course, and we do it every year. It's regulated. We have to. It's mandatory. Um, it's great. Um, when I go to New Orleans, there's New Orleans conductors in there, and there's engineer. So the camaraderie, what happens in New Orleans may not happen in Texas, but when we come together, the different experiences and the situations that come up, we talk about it. What would you have done? What would I have done? And the right thing to do. So that's every year, minimum every year. And then we have the in-house discussions. Say something happens in Seattle. Well, there's a bulletin that comes out and everybody reads it and we talk about it. So it's good. They keep us abreast on all the rules and regulations, which is huge. We can appreciate that. The awards and recognitions I have received at Amtrak. So I got a award, I think at 10 years, 20 years, and at 30 years, I got a ring. They send you a brochure. You can pick out your award. And at 30 years, I picked out my ring, which is probably the best award I've gotten from Amtrak. And also they give you like a rail pass for your family. So your family would consist, if you're single, it would be just you. If you're married, your wife or husband and kids can travel for free. So I think that's a great benefits. So this is my ring of 30 years. I don't know if you kind of see it. And I have Amtrak on the sides. And it says Service Award. I can't wait till I get to 40 years. It's got to be huge, right? Someone who has supported me as an advocate or mentor at Amtrak, her name was Joyce Smith. I got a couple people. First one is Joyce Smith, the woman who hired me. Anytime I would just be at a dilemma, I would call her and she would give me support. And she worked for Amtrak. So she was a really good advocate for me. And then, of course, I have my family. Anytime I would go from one position to another, I would call my mom and she would pray for me at each position. And I knew that once that prayer was prayed, I felt good about it, if that makes sense. I just felt good that I'm going to do it. And every time I apply for a position, I've gotten it on the first try. So prayer works. I do not regret staying with the same company because my job is great. The money's great. I'm going to see the world, and then you're going to pay me to do it. Where they do that at. Absolutely love it. I wouldn't change it for the world. My very first job, I knew at my very first job as LSA, I loved it so much that I knew I wasn't going nowhere. But as I got more years in the company, the growth was amazing. I don't have to go nowhere. There's so many opportunities within that I have to go nowhere. So I didn't. And I just rose in the ranks. And it was absolutely amazing. And right now I got the best job in the world. I got the best seat in the world. And my responsibilities with the passengers, I take very, very personal. It's my responsibility to get them from point A to point B on a very smooth trip. Because you never know, somebody's grandmother can be on the train. So I take that personal that these passengers that flown to me for the 4 hours or the 5 hours I am on there. And I take great pride in that. And they're seeing the countryside. We got 4 seasons. The change of the seasons are amazing. There's no 2 days alike. Just the diversity of the season, Mother Nature. It's amazing. She can be good or not so good. And we just roll with it. And it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love it. Another company I explore opportunities with is none. I've been there for 33 years. I started when I was 21. Been there ever since. No regrets. Love it. And will encourage anyone and everyone to apply. Especially young people. Absolutely. You will not regret it. So at 21, for me, my mindset was open. I had no responsibilities. So I was just free to go. And if you're a young person, this is a great time to get your foot in the door. The opportunities are endless. You can go as far up as you want. It's just nothing stopping you. Just nothing stopping. The only person stopping you is you. That's the only person stopping you. It's amazing. There's jobs online right now, and it's a great company. The benefits, you will make enough money to take care of your family. Take care of your family. To start a family. Get married if you're single. Or if you're not single, you can take care of your family. If you are coming with a family already, the benefits are amazing. Health, you got dental, just everything you need to take care of your family. It's a great job. A typical workday begins with, okay, so say for instance, I am going to Fort Worth to Oklahoma City. So the sign-up time is 4:25. And at 4:25, it's me, the conductor, and the assist conductor. There's 3 people in a crew, minimum. So we're all there at 4:25. The conductor is responsible for getting all the paperwork that we need to get over the railroad to get from point A to point B. And what we do, we go over the paperwork and what we call speed restrictions. So there's certain spots where we just have to slow down. So the maximum train speed is 79, the max. So at certain places in the railroad, maybe say there's a 40 or there's a 50. So we do all that paperwork. We go over all that, and then we're supposed to leave at 5:25. We get everybody loaded. We go get the train. We bring it down to the station, and we start loading at 5. So we get everybody on and loaded, and at 5:25, I toot off, and we are going. And so once we make station stops at Gainesville, Ardmore, Purcell, Pauls Valley, Norman, and then it's Pauls Valley, then Purcell, Norman, then Oklahoma City. So once we get to Oklahoma City, we get everybody off, and we get there at 9:25. On time is about 9:25. So we get there, the passengers get off the train, and then we put the train away. We just pull it down just a little bit, and that's where it sits for the night. Get there 9:30. The hotel is just right across the street. We just walk right across the street. We lay over there, and then we come back. So on duty time the next day is 7:25 a.m. in the morning. And then we leave. Again, we go over all the paperwork. There's new paperwork. It's a new day. We go ahead and go over the paperwork, and then we leave at 8:25. So we get done with the paperwork about 7:45. We start loading at 8, and we're done at 8:25. We take off. And then we go from Oklahoma City back to Fort Worth, and we get there about 12:30. It's about on time, and our day is done. And it's absolutely beautiful. And some Oklahomans, they go down for the day. There is a train a day each way. So when you go down from Oklahoma City to Fort Worth, say you live in Oklahoma City, you want to go to Fort Worth for the day. So there's a train that comes back that night. It leaves at 5:25. So a lot of people, like on the weekends, they come down, spend the day in Fort Worth, hang out, chill, go to the stockyards, and then go back that same night. Leave at 5:25. Yeah, absolutely. It's a great day. It's 4 hours there and 4 hours back. Easy peasy. Absolutely. So the most pleasurable part of my job as an engineer is I got the best seat in the house. I see everything. The best seat in the house. And then after that is the people. It's taking responsibility. I take personal responsibility, getting people from point A to point B. Working 4 seasons is amazing. Anything we come across, I am the person in charge. I like that. I got a personality A. I think it's A. So anything challenging comes my way, I am there. I will fix it. And then I work amazing crew. I am the only woman, so the men I work with are amazing. We're personable. We're friends, on and off the job. It's great. We have a great relationship with all the guys, and the ones that are married, I know their wives. Very nice. We go out, hang out, shopping, So it's a very relaxed atmosphere. And then when we get new people in, we take them under our wing, and we show them the ropes, and it's great. Absolutely great. The least favorite part of my job as an engineer is, so right now I'm on call. So I'm on call. They can call me, my off day is Thursday. So they can call me 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So I would say that would be the least. I know if they're calling me at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I know something has happened. And I'm up. I'm just up. And I'm there, and then the first thing that comes to mind is the passengers. I need to get there as soon as possible and get these passengers where they need to go. Even though I don't like being called at 2 o'clock in the morning, but I respond and I get up and I go. A message I would like to share with the viewers is, don't let nothing stop you from accomplishing your dreams. I believe that you can achieve anything. The only person stopping you is you. I think it's a mindset. So sometimes you have to change your mind to see it for what it is. And I think once you do that and it's open and you're just free to accept and walk through the process and enjoy the journey, you will absolutely love it. You will absolutely love it. You have no regrets. So come on out. I want to see you. I want to tell you about it, but I want you to experience it. You would never know unless you try it. So come on out. You'll love it. Guaranteed. After retiring, I am planning on cruising. I am an avid cruiser. I take the whole month of September, my birthday month, and I go on a boat and I just relax. Love it. I'm so excited. I got 5.5 more years. So excited. So excited. Can you tell? I'm so excited. So one other thing I want to say is I believe prayer works, and I believe what is for you is for you. So I believe that if you take the first step, doors would just open. You just got to take the first step. Have an open mind. Be willing to just go through the ranks. Because that's what happened with me. Every time I applied for a job, the door was just open. And you just step in it. And you enjoy it. And then when it's time to go up, just go up. Just have an open mind again. Be bold enough to apply. Just be bold enough. And you'll be surprised how the doors will just open. And you'll just go up and up and up and up. Now, I did think about going into management, which is the next promotion, but I didn't want to give up the best seat in the house. So I hope to see you out there.